to the Ungovernables, the Captain's Crew, the LFA family, McGroin Nation, coming to you live from the deep red state of Tennessee on rumble.com/LFA TV. Welcome to Ungoverned. Fifth hour in a row for yours truly. Just did 4 straight on the great 1210 WPHT. If you were there for that, it's a good time, as always. And we'll be rounding out this 5th straight hour now. Big hour here on LFA TV. Taking your calls second half of the show, 631-527-4545. We've got a lot to talk about today. Mainly, Ed Martin dropping some bombs with the journalist, Mark Halperin, I believe is his name. Halperin, a lot of people don't necessarily like him. I know there were some questionable things he may have done in the past. Accusations and whatnot, some Me Too stuff and other things like that as well. But that's not what I'm going to be discussing today. We'll be talking about some of the information that Ed Martin put out there. Obviously, we've got that. We will be doing, again, as I said, call second half of the show. We got some updates and some stuff about the shooter in Washington, D.C., who killed 2 Israeli diplomats outside of the Jewish Museum in Washington, D.C. And he was bold enough to confess that he not only did he do it, but that he also did it in the name of his favorite, I guess you can call it, movement, which is a movement that I despise here in this country. And some people don't like that I despise it here in this country. And that's their problem, not mine. I am no fan of the Free Palestine movement. I will never support somebody who says death to America. I will. I look upon people who try and defend it, not the right of people to protest or demonstrate, but I look at the people who try and defend that type of behavior and that type of thought process, and I look at them negatively, as many of us should, because it's not just about Jews, it's not just about Israel, it's not just about, a conflict out there in the Middle East. It's about the direct impact that that type of thing is having here in our country. And it's heartbreaking to have seen what went on in D.C. as a result of it. So to Candace Owens, you have blood on your hands. I don't care who takes. I don't care who takes issue with that. She's got sycophantic followers, big time supporters, whatever. Don't go at Candace. No, I'm going to go at Candace because she is right now one of the leading voices of the quote unquote Free Palestine movement, and she has essentially assumed that role under the guise of America First. Well, I don't know where Death to America fits in that America First, bless you, America First platform, but I don't think it's a very good fit at all. And she's not alone. There's plenty of others, but you see the impact that she's having on other commentators like Theo Von. Bless you. I can't wait to see Theo Von's reaction to the information of how the Israel-Hamas war started. Because I'm not too sure that he knows. So there's that. We will get to the Ed Martin stuff. Ed Martin dropping a bombshell. Did somebody have... Were there gatekeepers? Not to the president, but to the Autopen, which essentially was the president. We took issue with Hunter Biden selling access to his father when his father was the VP. We took issue with Hunter Biden, with him selling access to his father when his father was the president of the United States. And now we're finding out that the Autopen was more of a president than Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. And were there people selling access to the Autopen as well? is the real question. And according to Ed Martin, a whistleblower has said, yes, that was going on. Now, that does not mean that this whistleblower is telling the truth, but it is something that, needless to say, needs to be investigated, thoroughly investigated. And if indeed it was the case that somebody was gatekeeping and selling access to the Autopen to have presidential directives carried out on behalf of other people without the consent or the awareness, which Joe Biden struggled with on his own, of the president, then we got ourselves a major, major scandal. And a potential means of challenging some, maybe not all, but some of the pardons issued at the 11th hour by Joe Biden. If you were to ask me which pardons I thought he knew about and which pardons I don't think he knew about, I'm going to say, go on a limb and say the only pardon that I think he actually wanted to sign and knew that he was signing was the Hunter pardon. The Kinzinger, January 6th committee, Fauci, Milley, what happened? Oh, very good. Thank you, Jason. Jason King, Bongino Army Staff Sergeant. I don't think Joe Biden knew about those 11th hour Fauci, Milley, J6 committee pardons. I don't think he knew about them. I think the gatekeepers of the Autopen, I think it's very, very possible that they sold access. Sold, meaning they profited. Major scandal. Let's get to the bottom of it. Ed Martin has some information, and we'll see where it leads. Oh, we got an update on the Hog Judge. Remember the Hog?
Oh, yeah.
The Hog? Judge Dugan? It's always funny when you see a woman that looks like that and her last name is Dugan, because you would think somebody with the last name of Dugan would look like that, right? There's an update on the Hog Judge. Her little, run and help the illegal escape episode was apparently caught on camera. We'll take a look at that in a little bit. Karoline Leavitt had a moment with Yamiche Alcindor, formerly of PBS, now I believe of NBC, in the briefing room. She bodied her. That was amazing. And Nicole Wallace, who, if Dan Bongino was still doing his podcast, I believe she'd be, and correct me if I'm wrong, to the Bongino Army in the chat. What was the standings of the media talking head dopey? Was it the media dopey talking head Olympics? Number one was I forgot. Number two, I think I forgot all of them. Holy moly! Gosh, yeah. Give me the rundown. Gold medal, silver medal, bronze medal of the media dopey talking head Olympics. Where were the standings? I know there was some thing. What were the standings? What were the what was the running order before Dan took off the show? Was it Joy Reid? Was Joy Reid the number one? And then there were a couple of others. I know Jonathan Karl was the bronze, but he got replaced. Was he replaced by Was he replaced? Jonathan Karl was replaced by one of the females. Was it Welker? Was it Stephanie Rule? Oh, it was Margaret Brennan. No, Margaret Brennan was the bronze. It was Joy Reid, Joe Scarborough, Margaret Brennan. Okay, I think if Dan Bongino was still rolling, and shame on anybody who's turning on him right now, but I think if Dan Bongino was still rolling with his podcast, I have a feeling Nicole Wallace would be challenging Margaret Brennan right now. What say you? What say you? I have a feeling if Margaret Brennan, I'm sorry, I have a feeling if Dan Bongino was still running it, that Nicole Wallace would be challenging Margaret Brennan for the bronze medal in the dopey media talking head Olympics. That's what I think. I think we may need to I think we may need to look at that and maybe make an adjustment to that race. All right, before we get to all of our fun stuff this morning, we'll talk about the hog judge. We'll talk about Karoline Leavitt, the Ed Martin bombshell. Let's get to a word from our friends over at OFP Farms. It's OFPFarms.com, OFPFarms.com, OFPFarms.com. Folks, they are running a clearance extravaganza over at OFPFarms.com. Hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen, because some of your favorite products, unfortunately, over at OFP Farms are going to be riding off into the sunset forever. I know the Goat Kisses Lip Balm, it's going to be sticking around. But maybe some of those different, I guess they call it flavor and different, people call them flavors, but you're not supposed to eat it. So I don't like the idea that it's a quote-unquote flavor. But the different scents and the different kinds of the Goat Kisses Lip Balm. My favorite right now is the Southern Sweet Tea. I believe that's what I'm rolling with. I used to be an addict of the eucalyptus, the mint eucalyptus, but is a store-wide clearance extravaganza right now at OFP Farms. It's Oscar Foxtrot, PapaFarms.com. You got soaps and lotions for a mere $3 and $6. Soaps going for a mere $3 and $6. Those fancy glass lotion bottles are riding off into the sunset. The farm is gearing up for a short staycation, and the website is getting a makeover. So make sure to get that order in while you can. Now is your golden opportunity to stockpile your favorite OFP Farms products before they ride off into the sunset forever. OFPFarms.com. Use that promo code Sean. You'll see it on your screen. SHAWN. OFPFarms.com. Promo code Sean to get that 15% off of your entire order on top of any clearance discounts that they are running on the website. Because, of course, the lip balm, soaps, lotions, and magnesium products, some of them are going to be vanishing forever. So check it out at OFPFarms.com. Promo code Sean, SHAWN. OFPFarms.com. Promo code Sean, SHAWN. OFPFarms.com. Promo code Sean, SHAWN for 15% off. All right, let's get to this. Ed Martin. Bombshell information. I don't like using the word bombshell, but this type of stuff, this type of scandal fits right in with the Joe Biden health cover-up. This type of scandal rolls into the potential Joe Biden cancer cover-up. Investigations should take place into those reported and alleged cover-ups. OFP Farms is just redoing, not leaving. That is correct. They're just the website's getting a makeover. They're not going anywhere. They're just redoing the website. Yes. Ed Martin named names, ladies and gentlemen. He named names, which is something that a lot of people, they don't do. It's usually people get a little gun shy when it comes to naming names. Not Ed Martin. This is why I wanted him to be the U.S. attorney out of Washington, D.C., but now he's in a role, and maybe, like we say, all things happen for a reason, right? Maybe this is a better role for him anyway because of the information that's going to be released to the public. Ed Martin, who is a pardon attorney and the head of the Department of Justice's Weaponization Task Force, has been investigating the corrupt use of the Autopen to sign documents, including pardons, during Joe Biden's presidency. Now, I know when the information first started coming out, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I don't always tell you what you want to hear. I tell you what you believe is true, what I believe to be true, right? When the information came out that an Autopen may have signed the pardons issued by Joe Biden, I saw a lot of people rushing to this idea that this means that the pardons are void because Joe Biden did not physically sign them. That is not the case, okay? Constitutionally, I don't think, or even in the Supreme Court, I don't think you're going to have much of a case if you're going to make that case. Although I get it from a standpoint, where we look at it and say, well, the president is supposed to sign the pardons, and it wasn't the president. It was a machine that did it. But the Supreme Court and these courts are going to look at that, and they're going to say, get it out of here. He knew about the pardons. It's still his name. He authorized the use of the Autopen. It's the same thing. You don't have a case. However, okay? If it can be proven, and it has to be proven beyond an opinion, beyond suggestions. And this whistleblower testimony is very important. Right? Very important. If it can be proven, that the Autopen was used to sign off on pardons without any knowledge of the President of the United States, I think that is a compelling enough case to bring to whatever court needs to hear it, that those pardons are voided. Because it is the President of the United States who has the sole authority to issue pardons. President alone. Nobody else. Not people around the president. People around the president can suggest pardons. People around the president can receive pardons. People around the president cannot issue pardons. They can lobby for the issuance of pardons, but they cannot themselves issue pardons. And so, for example, if I was the President of the United States, and wouldn't that be fun? Although probably not for me. And Brennan, as the First Lady of the United States, decided she was going to fire up the Autopen and start pardoning people. And I didn't know about it.
I didn't do that.
If that happened, the case could be, and honestly should be made, that I didn't know about it. I didn't actually issue the pardons. It's just a document that has my name on it, but I had nothing to do with that process. As I saw the question from Jenna McKeon in the chat right here, the question is, can we prove it? And that is the golden question at the end of the day. And the toughest question whenever you're dealing with courts and proving a case. Because it's easy for us to say, think of it, right? It's easy for us to say, oh, come on. Joe Biden didn't know where he was. There's no way he knew about those pardons. He probably doesn't even remember that he was president. And you know what? You might be right. But that's not enough in a court to prove your case. In the court of public opinion, you may very well be right, but the court of public opinion can't overturn a pardon. Right? Matter of fact, I don't think a pardon has ever been overturned before. Ever. Even a president who issues a pardon is not allowed to revoke the issuance of that pardon. So as much as I love the idea of challenging these things and getting to the bottom of it and trying, I'm gonna give you this blunt force truth right now, not because I want this to be the outcome, but because I believe this will be the outcome. And it's not born of cynicism. It's not born of, negativity. This isn't a black pill. This isn't me telling you to give up or stop talking about it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make the case for the opposite, right? But I believe there is less than a 1% chance that any of these 11th hour pardons are going to be overturned. Because in order to overturn it, you have to have not circumstantial proof, not just a whistleblower, not just, oh, come on, Joe Biden didn't know where he was. You need to have, essentially, you are going to need to have Joe Biden himself or Jill possibly make the statement that he had no clue that those pardons were issued. It's going to have to get bad enough. It's going to get bad enough. It has to get bad enough for that to happen. Jeremy brings up, if Trump promises to pardon Joe and Jill for testimony that their presidency was hijacked, then we have a chance. You know what? Could that be what Donald Trump is doing when he made that statement? A couple of days ago, the title of the show is Donald Trump trolling the Democrats by quote unquote defending Joe Biden. So let's think about what Jeremy just said in the chat. Let's think about that for a second. Because in and of itself, right? And I don't usually like to go too far into these like if this then this, because it gets wilder and wilder. But this is not that far-fetched, because we already asked this question. Again, I'm not saying that this is, something that you see every day. I'm just asking. Let's lay this out there from Trump's perspective. Let's lay out the plan, right? Potential plan. I'm not saying this is what's going to happen. I'm not even saying this is what's happening. I'm asking, is this what's happening? And let's go through it step by step. So Donald Trump the other day, do I have the clip of this? Donald Trump the other day, I think I got rid of it. Outside of Capitol Hill, right? Trump talked about how Joe Biden was essentially controlled. He put up a post on Truth Social that essentially said the exact same thing as well. That Donald Trump didn't know what he was doing. Not Donald Trump. That Joe Biden didn't know what he was doing. Trump essentially, quote unquote, defended the cognitively impaired Joe Biden, right? Defended him. And people look at that and go, what do you mean Donald Trump is defending him? Well, this is what he said on Truth Social, right? Direct quote from Donald Trump on Truth Social. Joe Biden was not for open borders. He never talked about open borders where criminals of all kinds, shapes, and sizes can flow into our country at will. It wasn't his idea to open the border and almost destroy our country and cost us hundreds of billions of dollars to get criminals out of our country and go through the process we're going through now. It was the people that knew he was cognitively impaired and that took over the Autopen. They stole the presidency of the United States and put us in great danger. This is true. Do you see what he's doing there? When's the last time you heard Donald Trump talking about people stealing the election? When they stole it from him, right? When they stole it from Trump. I think that phraseology there has dual meaning. They stole the presidency, i.e. 2020 election. But they also stole control away from Joe Biden, the person they installed. This is treason at the highest level. They did it to destroy our country. The Joe Biden that everybody knew would never allow drug dealers, gang members, and the mentally insane to come into our country totally unchecked and unvetted. This is Donald Trump being complimentary of Joe Biden's previous record. Joe Biden, who was known as a moderate when he was in the Senate. And that's why Barack Obama picked him to be the VP, because he had that moderate, almost blue-collar feel about him. All anyone has to do is look up his record. Something very severe should happen to these treasonous thugs that wanted to destroy our country but couldn't because I came along. Make America great again. So my question is to kind of go on what Jeremy proposed in the chat. Did Joe Biden do that to essentially extend an olive branch to Joe and Jill and say, look, I am willing to call off the dogs here. I am willing to try and help you preserve whatever legacy you have or had or whatever's left of your reputation. And we could argue whether or not he should be doing this. But I think the reason why he's doing this, remember, Donald Trump is what? He's transactional. He's never going to give more than he wants to receive, right? So is it worth this transaction? Think. Donald Trump extends the olive branch to Joe and Jill. Let me help you preserve. I'm going to help you preserve your horrible legacy. It's horrible, right? He's extending the olive branch to Joe and Jill. Look, we know you weren't running the show. We know you weren't making the decisions. If you blame them, you guys could save face a little bit. If Donald Trump, because remember, Joe Biden never pardoned himself. Right? If Donald Trump offers some sort of pardon or immunity or some sort of deal to the Bidens, who I'd hate to see him doing business with, however, if he's going to work out this kind of deal, and it means we are now allowed to prosecute Fauci and Milley and the J6 committee, then I'd probably be okay with it. Think. Joe Biden's got cancer. He may not have much longer to go. Unfortunately, I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm saying that's just reality. Jill and Joe are already, they're still very upset with how the Democrat Party, the DNC, treated Joe Biden with the flipperoo, the switch, Biden for Kamala, and how they abandoned him after and turned on him after the debate. So you know there's some animosity there between the Bidens and the Democrat establishment. Is Donald Trump essentially trying to manipulate that and kind of fan the flame? Let's get this fire going. Make a deal with them, as dirty as that is. That's politics, right? Trump is transactional. I'm going to give you something if you make it known and swear to a statement under oath or whatever, a sworn affidavit, under oath in Congress, that Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., then the 46th president of the United States of America, had no knowledge of the 11th hour pardons that were released on January 20th, 2000, or January 19th, whichever the day was, 2025, right before Donald Trump was inaugurated. Is that type of deal in the works? I don't know. Could that type of deal be in the works? It's possible. Is it likely? I'm not going to say it's likely. But it makes sense when you look at Donald Trump's actions. When has he ever defended Joe Biden before? The answer is never. Never. Now, this information that we are getting, the information we're getting from Ed Martin, right? There is going to be an investigation into the Autopen. He mentioned to Mark Halpern on Tuesday's Two-Way Tonight Show, he revealed that he's been speaking to a whistleblower that's naming names of those potentially involved in the Autopen scandal. Martin said, quote, "I had a whistleblower in my office 10 days ago. Senior Democrat saying, look, it was these three people that controlled access and they were making money off of it." Now, this is not Ed Martin saying this is what happened. This is Ed Martin saying this is what a whistleblower told him. Could the whistleblower be lying? Sure. Do I believe that this is true? I'm inclined to believe it because that's the way this game is played. Martin followed up by saying, quote, "I don't know if I believe it yet. But the point is, I think we have to get to the bottom of it for the American people and to protect the process, and that is what we're doing." According to Ed Martin, that individual, the whistleblower, worked at the highest levels of the Biden campaign in 2020. He declined to mention specific names given by the whistleblower, but described gatekeepers who were using access and promptly revealed their identities. The gatekeepers were former White House Chief of Staff Ron Klain, Anita Dunn, and Bob Bauer. Dunn is a seasoned Democratic political strategist who was President Biden's senior advisor and served as Barack Obama's communication director. Bauer was Obama's former personal attorney. Ron Klain is very interesting because, according to a couple of books covering the campaign, he's been feigning shock over Biden's mental condition as he helped prep him for the debate last June. It's interesting. It's a very interesting development. And you know what? This may have been the job that Ed Martin has needed to do all along. This may have been the job that Ed Martin has needed to do all along. And now he's going to get a chance to do it. Listen, I think this is, I think it's great. It's at the very least, let's say that Hail Mary grand slam deal that we're talking about, Trump and the Bidens and, sworn testimony that he didn't know about the pardons. Let's say that doesn't happen. However, what we do get is conclusive enough information that maybe Biden was aware of the pardons and authorized those pardons, but he wasn't really in control, and we've got conclusive information that says that. That is a scandal that is going to haunt the Democrat Party for years, because now what it is going to do is it's going to undermine their ability to pick a candidate that's actually in control of their faculties. What's going to stop the Democrat Party, right? If they get away with this, the American people are going to see the Democrat Party, or could see the Democrat Party. It's our job to push this. The American people, if the Democrat Party has been proven to have taken advantage of a man with dementia serving as the president of the United States, they're going to be questioned every time. Well, who's to say this candidate, whether it's Gavin Newsom, AOC, Buttigieg, Stephen A. Smith? I mean, that would be interesting. I don't know if that's going to happen. But, any Democrat, insert Democrat name here. The question will always now have to be asked the Democrat Party, well, is that person actually in control? Because you did this with Biden. Oh, we didn't do it with Biden. Biden needed help. Well, you told us he was fine until he wasn't. So at the very least, if we get conclusive enough information that Joe Biden was taken advantage of, it's a major stain on the Democrat Party going forward. Major stain. MDUSMC77 says Biden may just rat on everybody since he's dying with cancer. People with nothing to lose are the most dangerous people. And Joe Biden at this point has really nothing to lose. He lost his reputation. That's gone. He's lost his mind. He can't get that back. He's dealing with a disease that may cause him to lose his life. What does he have? He's lost his friends and his power and his influence in the Democrat Party. He's got nothing to lose. And that makes him dangerous. And I think it's more than likely that the Democrat Party sees this now, and maybe they're panicking just a little bit. I would be if I was them. All right. Let's get to the LFA TV store, lfatv.us, lfatv.us, lfatv.us. The LFA TV store located right here on the LFA TV website, and then we'll do a couple more things, then we'll get to your calls, 631-527-4545. On that, you could talk about, obviously I had a big take on Bongino yesterday, got a lot of interaction on X. I still stand with him. I think the attacks on him are disgraceful. I think it's a rush to judgment, but we could talk about that. Maybe you disagree. We can have a respectful conversation there. All right, lfatv.us. Click on that LFA TV store tab right here, and you'll be able to then click on the Visit the Store tab right off on the right-hand side. You will see everything that there is to offer on the LFA TV store. It's lfatv.us. You got the shirts, you got the mugs, the Barb Naylor mugs. Got to love these mugs. They're back in stock. LFA TV flannels. You got the Rise Up coffee right here. Well, make a great gift for Dad on Father's Day. Nothing like some strong coffee in the morning to wake you up, get you in gear, ready to make America great again, ready to spread the truth right here with LFA TV. All sorts of really great Christian-themed merchandise, MAGA-themed merchandise, patriotic merch, all sorts of good stuff at the LFA TV store, lfatv.us, lfatv.us, or jeremyherald.com/store, lfatv.us, or jeremyherald.com/store. All right, I'm going to play this clip from Nicole Wallace. I want to play this clip for Nicole Wallace, from Nicole Wallace, about political violence. It is very interesting who she lays the blame on here. And then we'll talk about what's really happening with political violence and where it's really coming from. Take a look.
The permission structure for violence. You've got polls about political violence. Democrats don't think it's a good idea. Only Republicans. Only people inclined to consume conservative media are now, I think, upward of 50% say that if necessary, violence is okay. You've only got the conduct on one of the two sides.
It's only coming from one of the two sides. Talking about political violence is like apparently unique to the right. Really? And while I've acknowledged that there are members of this sick, perverted, disgusting faction known as Free Palestine, this man was not a member of the so-called right. He was a socialist from Chicago. And he said he did it for Palestine. He confessed and said he did it for Palestine. Confessed after he shot these two beautiful people who were getting ready to be married. Yaron, the gentleman, had purchased a ring. He was going to propose to his girlfriend over in Israel and Jerusalem, but never got a chance to do that because this left-wing insane person. Where is the Sarah Milgram and Yaron Lashinsky? Where's the gun control people now, huh? How come gun control didn't work in Washington, D.C., one of the cities and municipalities, jurisdictions in this country with some of the strictest gun laws? How come it didn't work? Where's your call for gun control now? Where's David Hogg? Well, I know it's two white people. Messianic Jews. Give me a break. He said, I did it for Palestine. I did it for Gaza. I am unarmed. When they found him, he was unarmed as he dropped the gun. How about this? Because we've made mention of this before, too. This sick love affair with Luigi Mangione. This is why I love to play that Scott Jennings clip, but make your own chart, right? No, Luigi is a bad guy. Daniel Penny is a good guy. The left had it flip-flopped. Apparently, this loon, this deranged psychopath who murdered the couple in Washington, D.C., the Israeli diplomats, praised Luigi Mangione. Gee, I wonder where he got that idea from. Surely wasn't Donald Trump. Surely wasn't anybody here on the right. Oh, and he posted death to America. Holy crap. Candace, are you watching yet? Are you listening yet? Are we paying attention as to why I don't like the Free Palestine movement? No, Maddie, whatever the hell your last name is on X. No, I'm not a shill for Israel. I love my country. And I don't love, as a matter of fact, I hate the people who keep chanting death to America. That's why I don't like this faction. It doesn't have anything to do with shekels or shilling for Israel. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with I call myself America first because I actually love this place. I don't want to see the green headband disgusting scumbags who are out there talking about death to America, radicalizing people in my country, slaughtering people in my streets in the name of some terrorist organization that I'm told by Candace Owens and Myron Gaines and Nick Fuentes and Theo Vaughn and Andrew Tate and the rest of these absolute just dipwads on the internet that we should be sympathetic to their cause. No, I'm not sympathetic to their cause. Thank you very much. I'm not sympathetic to the people who are telling me they want my country, the one that you say, well, I just want to put America first and end Israeli influence. Oh, really? You want to put America first? How does death to America fit into your America First platform? Answer that one. Stop taking shots at your own side. There's something I want to say that I'm not going to say because it's a bad look to say it. How about it? Where's Candace? You got all these Stu. Where's Stu? Oh, it's a false flag. Give me a break. And this is why. This is why I get angry when I see clickbait from people I respect. I don't respect those people. I don't respect Myron Gaines. I don't respect Candace Owens. I don't respect Stu Peters. I don't respect Andrew Tate. I don't respect Nick Fuentes. But there are people who I do respect. And this is why I get angry, when we had the drones over New Jersey and Bethany Frankel acting like she got a link from the Pentagon and, people posting videos of stars, and there are people who I do respect who get sucked into this clickbait garbage because they see the likes and the views and want that instant gratification rather than sticking to the truth. People like Stu, who has not been right a day in his life. Even his Died Suddenly documentary, Robert Malone came out and said it was a load of malarkey. There were misrepresentations all throughout that. Yes, the general idea that the vaccine's unsafe and it's hurting people is true. But the information that led to that conclusion in there is all bullcrap. This is why I'm so angry about what people are saying about Bongino. They are, listen to me loud and clear. Listen to me loud and clear. Eyes on the screen. People who are criticizing Bongino. I shouldn't say criticizing. Criticism is fine. Criticism is fine. You want to scrutinize an answer that he gave to a question? You want to you want to be frustrated with the pace of things? Scrutiny and criticism is fine. It's the folks that have gone out now and have accused a guy like Bongino of being a deep state actor, of being corrupt, of being weak, of being part of some grand scheme to cover things up. Those people are clickbait artists who make things up for a living because they keep getting rewarded for it. Stop rewarding sensationalist losers who have not gotten a story right in forever. Stop rewarding sensationalist losers who are going out there and criticizing a man, again, not criticizing, sorry, attacking a man and accusing him of being corrupt and weak and all this, who walked away from a multi-million-dollar media empire in the making here on Rumble, put aside time with his family, is working longer days for far less pay. You think he did all of that to do nothing? Well, he's being compensated maybe in other ways besides his paycheck. To the tune of millions of dollars, you think? And it hasn't come out yet. He's part of it. Shut up. You're part of the problem. And if you disagree with that, give me a call. 631-527-4545. 631-527-4545. The issue here is with the left and the right, folks on the right, all competing for the same likes and the same clicks. And you know what? I've watched a lot of people who I otherwise respected light their credibility on fire. Whether it's Free Palestine or it's nothing's fixed at the FBI in 2 months that I wanted fixed, and he answered the Epstein thing the wrong way, and Butler not understanding that he's not a podcast host anymore and can't speculate and theorize the way you do every single day on bullcrap. And that's not to say the Epstein and Butler stuff is bullcrap, because I don't agree that Thomas Crooks acted alone. I still have many questions about Epstein's death. I'm not just, okay, Bongino said he didn't kill himself. That's it. Case closed. I'm saying the reason he said that is because he's bound by ethics protocols. Ethics, something you know nothing about. Ethics, doing the right thing. Not making crap up that you can't prove. And when I say you can't prove it, an opinion isn't proof. Ethics binding him. Doing the job with integrity is binding Dan Bongino and Kash Patel. So I always say, this DC shooter He loves the left. He loves Luigi Mangione. He's a socialist. He loves the Death to America crowd. Did it for Palestine. And it's not going to stop until all of us roundly reject it and cleanse this garbage from our movement. Garbage is what it is. All right. I want to play for you the Hog Judge real quick. And then we'll get to a word from our friends at Armor Colostrum. Then we'll take your call, 631-527-4545. Here's the Hog Judge. This is what the Hog Judge did on, well, I don't know when this was, what day it was. This is what the Hog Judge did in Milwaukee, letting that illegal alien escape and helping the illegal alien evade arrest. Who, by the way, the FBI arrested this woman. They're not doing anything. Watch.
He meets his attorney in the hallway and walks towards Circuit Court Judge Hannah Dugan's courtroom. Along the way, he passes plainclothes federal agents who are sitting on a bench. They are there to detain him. After Flores Ruiz walks by, the agents turn to each other and appear to confirm his identity amongst themselves. But a few moments later, Judge Dugan and another judge approach the agents sitting on the bench. A criminal complaint against Dugan later said she was alerted to their presence by a court official. That complaint says during this interaction, Dugan and the agents disagreed over the type of warrant they had to arrest Flores Ruiz. According to the complaint, Dugan ordered the agents to go to the chief judge's office. Video shows her pointing them through a double door. She then turns back to speak with other agents further down the hall and orders them through the doors as well. Shortly after that, with the agents gone from the hallway, Eduardo Flores Ruiz and his attorney exit into the hallway through a different door. As they walk down the hall toward the elevators, they pass another plainclothes federal agent. Neither they nor Judge Dugan seem to have noticed at the time. That agent motions to another to follow Flores Ruiz. Security video shows Flores Ruiz exiting through a basement exit. Upstairs on the 6th floor, the other agents have left the chief judge's office and worked their way downstairs. Flores Ruiz left the building onto 9th Street. Videos of the street shows the agents catching up to him. Flores Ruiz runs across 10th Street while trying to get away, but the agents catch him and arrest him.
You guys are funny in the chat. AV 1965. Jabba the Judge. Stop it. What do we say to Judge Dugan? Anybody want to get your roosters out? Phyllis Kohler over on X said, threw a rooster in there. I love the fact that the rooster is the thing. Nobody's above the law, right? Nobody's above the law. Jabba the Judge. I would never say something. I can't even say it with a straight face. I would never say something like that. I would never do it. I would never do it. Jabba the Judge, right? Jabba the Judge. Get your roosters. All right. Let's talk about, let's get to word from our friends over at Armor Colostrum. Armor Colostrum, maybe Jabba the Judge should take some Armor Colostrum because if there's something she's dealing with, it is definitely bloating. You guys know I'm always on the lookout for ways to strengthen my immunity and my gut health, improve my fitness and metabolism, and enhance my skin and hair radiance. This is Armor Colostrum. And it can do all that and more for you. Colostrum is the first nutrition we receive in life, contains all the essential nutrients our bodies need in order to thrive. It can help you reactivate your hair growth and help your skin glow. It can help you fortify your gut health and ignite your metabolism, right? Something that someone we were just talking about may need help with. It can help fuel your fitness, performance, and your recovery. You can harness the close-guarded secret of elite athletes, long prized for its unrivaled ability to take performance to its apex. Colostrum has been shown in research to help enhance nutrient absorption, promote lean muscle building, and improve endurance while fueling cellular repair regeneration for faster recovery. Specifically, Colostrum has been shown to improve fitness endurance by 20%, decrease recovery time by over 50% after intense exercise, improve stamina, and specifically build lean muscle mass. You can get 15% off of your entire first order at tryarmor.com/LFATV. Tryarmor.com/LFATV. Tryarmor.com/LFATV for 15% off of your entire first order. That's TryArmor.com/LFATV. Tryarmor.com/Lima Foxtrot Alpha Tango Victor. All right. Let's get to your call, 631-527-4545. While we're waiting for that phone to ring, while you're coming in, I'm going to play for you this clip from Karoline Leavitt bodying the big body known as Yamiche Alcindor. Take a look.
Sure. The president showed a video that he said showed more than 1,000 burial sites of white South Africans that he said were murdered. We know that that was not true and that the video wasn't showing that. So I wonder, why did the president choose to show that?
What's not true, Yamiche?
It's not true that the video was showing a burial site. It is unsubstantiated that that's the case.
No, it is true that that video showed the crosses that represent.
Which is what the president claimed.
The video showed images of crosses in South Africa about white farmers who have been killed and politically persecuted because of the color of their skin. And those crosses are representing their lives. Those crosses are representing their lives in the fact that they are now dead and their government did nothing about it. Are you disputing that there's no...
The fact that the video showed what the president claimed it showed. Because
Well, the long story short on that clip, because we are starting to get calls and it is late in the show, is that she's trying to say that Donald Trump said it was a burial site, and it wasn't a burial site. It was just crosses on the ground, acknowledging people who died, but they weren't actually buried there. So now she's trying to act like it didn't happen. Let's get to this first call. It's Heather in Kansas City. What's going on, Heather?
Well, hello. I'm glad I got in, and knock on wood, I'm not getting a call right now at work. So we switched everything around. I'm sure y'all heard in there. So I thought I'd give it a try to call. So hello, everybody.
Hello, Heather. How are you? You doing all right?
We're doing fine, adjusting to the new role here, but everything's okay so far. So, but I'm gonna try my rooster again for you.
Here she goes.
Sean!
She threw a rooster out there. There she's going, screaming. She's doing the rooster. Heather, that's a good rooster right there. Good job.
I had to try. No, I'm supposed to laugh.
Nice job. Love it.
Anyway, so everything's good here. We're gonna have cooler temperatures, and everything's good. So.
Well, good to hear from you as always. You have a good weekend and enjoy Memorial Day.
Thank you. Yes, I get off, so we're all good to go there. And you guys have a good anniversary, I believe.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, bye. That was Heather from Kansas City. We love Heather. Wish us a happy anniversary, which is on Sunday. Very nice. 631-527-4545. A lot of people trying to call in right now. Here we go. I know who this is. This is going to be our good friend, the MVP, the hardest working, now 21-year-old in the state of Iowa. That would be Dylan Filion. What's up, Dylan? I haven't heard from you in a while. Although maybe, things maybe went a little south for that 21st birthday. What's going on?
Oh, nothing, Sean. Just very busy with things. Obviously, as you know, I play deck hockey behind the scenes.
You're not still hungover from 21, are you? I'm just kidding. I'm only kidding. Yes, you play hockey.
No. Yeah. I play on 3 teams, and I run one of them, and I also work 2 jobs, so I'm very busy.
Dylan plays on 3 hockey teams, runs one of the hockey teams, and works 2 jobs.
Ball hockey teams, though, Sean.
There you go.
Your former sport that you used to play. But yeah, man, it's just been very busy here, and I just got to say, Sean, it's very disheartening to see some former Bongino supporters come after Bongino the way they're coming after him, and it just really I don't know if people really caught the motive, because when Bongino on his last show left, he even told people, he's like, hey, I won't be able to do the things like I did on my podcast, and I'm going to have to be under the ethics of my position.
Yep.
And he said something to that extent, and I don't know if those people caught that message, but I would recommend, if they didn't, I would recommend they go watch his last episode before he went to go assume his position. So it's just unbelievable to see those people go after him. And I actually texted producer Jim, and I'm still a strong Bongino supporter. I will always be a Bongino supporter. So I hope Dan keeps up the great work there. And him and Cash are dealing with a lot. So I got to give all the respect in the world to them. So
I do too, and the sacrifices they made. Well, it's good to know you're a smart guy, and we know you're going to be in the right corner. So thank you for that, and you have a great Memorial Day.
Absolutely.
And a great weekend.
We need to remember why we have this weekend,
That's
Sean.
right.
We have to remember
I said
why
that on
we have
1210. We have it to honor the people who gave their life in the defense of the greatest country on earth. Thank you for bringing that up. We appreciate it, Dylan. You have a great weekend, all right?
Absolutely. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you. Dylan, bringing it up, saying we have to remember why we have Memorial Day. And he's 100% right. 21 years old and just smart beyond his years. Love that guy. All right, let's go. 631-527-4545. We got time for 2 if they're short, 1 if it's long. Waiting for it to ring. And right now it looks like there's a backlog. So it looks like the, my beautiful website here is just not showing me new calls. It's just showing me that. There we go. Oh, nope. Someone just tried, and then it went away. We will now only have time for 1 more. I will be trying. I'm trying to free it up, trying to get it open. There it is. There we go. We got a call coming. I'm going to connect to this one here. I recognize the number. I don't remember who it is, so we are going to let this one connect. All right. Who do we have on the line here?
Hey, Sean. It's Tom from Long Island. How you doing?
Tom from Long Island. What's up, Tom?
Nothing much. Just wanted to come on really quick. I'm glad I got through. I completely agree with you on pretty much everything you said today. I mean, people looking for clout versus speaking the truth, and people, shutting down Bongino because he changed face, and tried to do something for the country. It's disgraceful.
Yeah, and that's what it's about. These people who are doing this now, they only came around to the Bongino thing when it became a trendy thing to do, when he got the #1 live stream in the world. And I'm not trying to say that, this is a you-know-what measuring contest, but the speed at which they turned on him is just disgusting. And with supporters, quote unquote, like that, who needs detractors, right? So it's awful. I'm happy to hear you're on the right side of this.
Yeah, 100%, Sean. I'm always with you. I mean, I might not always agree with what you say, but you make always a great point no matter what. And love the show. Glad to be on it with you.
All right, thanks, Tom. You have a great weekend. Thank you for the call. That'll do it for calls today. Did we hit 700? We did. All right, let's get Mo out on the screen. We honk our hedgehog right there, and an extra honk right there. Couple extra honks there as we honked our hedgehog live on camera. Boom. There it is. Thank you so much to everybody who's watching. Listen, Jeremy Harrell up next. He'll be reporting on potential subpoenas that are going to be given out over this Autopen scandal, which is an emerging scandal. We're going to follow it very closely. Thank you to everybody who watched and listened. This show will not be on Monday. However, I know Jeremy's going to be doing both shows on Monday. Pete Santilli is going to be streaming on Monday. So you will still be able to access some of your favorite LFA TV programming on Monday, on Memorial Day. Please, for everybody listening, remember, as Dylan said, why we have this weekend. Thank you to everybody and anybody who gave their life in defense of the greatest nation in the world. Their sacrifices, I don't think, will ever be truly completely repaid. So we thank anybody and we remember them this weekend before we begin our festivities. Thanks again to everybody who watched and listened. As President Trump would say, we will never give up, we'll never give in, and we will never ever surrender. Thank you to everybody who's noticing our anniversary as well. We appreciate that as well. Have a great rest of your day. Jeremy Harrell up next. In the words of John Fetterman, good night, everybody. Bang gavel. We will see you next week on Tuesday morning, rumble.com/LFA TV, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Until then, have a happy, healthy, safe, and have a nice, thoughtful Memorial Day as well. And we will see you next week.